Time is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Friday, everybody. You made it. Job well done. Appreciate it. Old School brought to you by Sandhills Global. You can check them out. They're hiring today. Go to sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills.jobs. Get to it today. If you're looking to change things, now's the time, and Sandhills Global is the place to do it. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline if you want to call in, contribute, add to. Hit us with a what up, and we can have a conversation. Video streams are up. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Last night. So, Jay, first of all, thank you for coming down to Tanner's and hanging out last night.
Yeah.
And congratulations on being smart enough to get out of there at a decent hour, because me and Jake did not.
How long were you there? They shut the place down.
We were there.
You helped them clean up?
We were we were there when the taps are being cleaned.
Oh, you were. Wow.
Wow. They was talking about him in the back, like, man, these two dudes need to go.
Why are they
Well, it
still
wasn't.
here?
No, well, one. So, I mean, the owner was there.
Yeah.
And then we were joined by Sean Callahan. And then we were joined by Mr. Chamberlain.
Oh, Java?
Java showed up. And I have to, I met Jabba years ago in Baltimore when he was with the Yankees. So I didn't know, I don't know, I didn't engage that way. But last night, you just hang with somebody and go, okay, this is my dude.
Right.
Like, this is my, like, I get
Right.
it. Like, I get the Jabba fame, right? Great storyteller, doing some really good things with broadcast, some award-winning stuff, good stuff, and then just chopping it up with the owner from Tanner's, and of course the ideas start bouncing off, and you start coming up with all the ideas. And at about 11:30, I was thinking Jay Foreman is a genius, because I knew I wasn't getting out.
Yeah, I just watched the second half of the game. I was like, yeah.
I knew I wasn't getting out. And it got hyped because there's some folks in the bar who made some bets on Duke in the second half, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, so we're taking Duke in the second half because there's no way they're going to play the way they played in the first half. So take Duke in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, as Duke makes its run and does Duke type things, right? Woo-wee. Woo-wee.
Did he get a little testy?
Oh, he got fired up.
Yeah, Duke did their thing. I want to give a shout out to my man, Ramon Walker II, sixth man for the Houston Cougars, true freshman, son of one of the best teammates I ever had, Ramon Walker from Pittsburgh. We used to call him Money. The funny thing is, Money is about 5'11", 6 foot, but could hit. Let's call him the rattlesnake, because he coil and hit you pretty hard. I think his wife played basketball at Pitt. That's where all the height comes from, because I think his son is like 6'5", 6'6". So I was texting him last night. Of course, the game was late. He's like, man, I'm on Penn. He's like, I've been nervous for 2 days for this game, and I can't do nothing, And so, it's pretty cool I remember when his son was born, and now you turn on TV, he looks just like Ramon, and he's out there balling. You know, the one guy got hit in the
Yep.
in his privates,
Yep.
and then Money, you know, Ramon's son came right in and hit a nice little mid-range jumper. And you know, for a true freshman to be playing that much, because he could start out a little slow this year, is a good deal. So you know, it's pretty cool to see, you know, your friend's son out there balling.
Here's the weird thing is that Houston's 2 best players aren't even playing.
Yeah, you couldn't tell.
Right? Like their number 1 and their number 2 aren't playing.
Oop.
Uh-oh. Right.
Yeah,
so you're gonna get those years back. It was what you were talking about during the week, that this is a group of kids who really are they understand the mission.
They just play.
Right?
I mean, they just gonna just be in your face, physical, and they ain't backing down from. I mean, they just representing the city of Houston, the grimy part of the city, and they're all good kids. And you know, Calvin Sampson, he coaches them hard, holds them accountable. They seem to thrive on that because I think was it number 14 doubled down on the post too much, and they got hit with a 3. I mean, little Calvin Sampson was all over him, but then, you know, he didn't blink and he came right back out and started playing better D. So, you know, and they play with a nice little sense of poise. And, you know, anytime like Arizona kind of tried to creep back into it, or they had a couple of defensive breakdowns, you know, they were able to rally themselves. So, you know, I thought last night's 4 games were all good games. I mean, Arkansas pretty much was, like I said yesterday, I thought Gonzaga was going to win because I would have thought they learned their lesson from Memphis. But Arkansas is a better dressed up, tightened up, you know, team than Memphis. You know, they're older, but they play the same way. In your face, athletic. They're going to give you full pressure or 3/4 court pressure. That, you know, there's no playoff. Extremely athletic, quick to the ball. So that's where you saw one of their players that get a ton of you know, long rebounds, where even if you think you're boxing out, he can beat you and get it. Second chance points. And they were extremely physical with Chet Holmgren, even though he had 14 rebounds and was a little bit more effective, but he was pretty much nullified. I mean, you know, whether he's a number 1 pick, or I know he obviously is going to be a lottery pick, but he's a guy that has you know, he's going to go extremely high. He has a long way to go to be effective at the next level, because he doesn't have the quick twitch to beat you off the bounce, you know, like, you know, being that tall, and he can shoot outside, and especially when you're in high school, you know, he's 8 inches taller than everybody at least, right? 7'1".
Yeah.
He's probably even 9 most of the time. You know, when you can shoot like that from the outside, and you're built like that, they always say, "Oh, he's the next KD." See, KD can, and here's the thing: KD off the bounce can go right past you. He can't, because KD is actually more physical than people give him credit for, just because he's built like
He's Blade.
Yeah, he's like
He's
right.
Blade.
So, it was interesting to see also how Arkansas nullified Gonzaga's point guard. You know, because he was the guy that kind of
Nembhard.
Yeah,
He didn't score until this late in the second half.
Right, Timmy, I think, learned from that first game against Memphis, because he balled this whole game. You know, but I think with the point guard, I think they realized, you know what, Timmy's going to do his thing. Let's just say, okay, he's going to get between 22 and maybe say 30 points.
Whatever happens.
Just make him work for it.
Yeah.
Let's be physical with Chet, and let's pick one of those 3 to get. And they got the point guard. And plus, it's a great matchup for them, because then their point guard, I think, had 21 points, and he was very efficient. Or they're one of their, 1 or 2 guards. So
a lot of run out stuff too.
They
did a lot of passing lane steals.
Yeah, it's quick when you think. I mean, playing against teams like Memphis, Houston, Arkansas, Auburn, when they were really playing, I'm really disappointed how they choked. But just how, in Miami, like the Miamis and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like seeing it on film, ball pressure and the way that they can jump in the lanes is different than if you're not used to playing in conference. You get what I'm saying? All the time. So that type
slowed down for you. It hasn't slowed down.
So if you see it like every once in a while, which Memphis and Arkansas is, uniquely different than anything that they played against.
Mhm.
Majority. Now they might play like a specialty game, or might be over in Maui and link up with somebody. But when you play, in the SEC and you're playing against the likes of Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, Arkansas, even when Vanderbilt was kind of like a hard out, Texas A&M, where they got some dudes. This is just it catches people by surprise, and that's just what that's what I think really hurt them. I think the pressure and the lack of space, which made them extremely, extremely uncomfortable. It was not a clean game for Gonzaga.
Well, so I kept thinking of Nolan Richardson. Like, remember the old 40 minutes of hell?
Right.
And what they used to do to folks was just to wear them down.
Right. And that's what
right.
happened.
Passes become a little sloppier. It was fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Mhm.
The passing lanes, the normal passes you think you're making, you're not making.
Right.
Your body's just not responding. And then your bounce gets thrown off.
Right.
And then your balance gets thrown off.
And you're thinking too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay, I can't do the basic things in normal, comfortable movement that I normally do, because this cat is here and he ain't going anywhere.
Right.
And first trip down, second trip down, seventh trip down.
Ain't nothing happening.
Right. It's just you're hitting the gas pedal and nothing's happening. You pointed out early that defensive teams excel.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Was this a defensive win or was this an offensive win
For Arkansas?
for Arkansas?
It was defensive. I mean, because that defense took away one of their better players, which essentially was a big part of winning the game, but it allowed them to get some easy run outs and points and get into rhythm offensively. So they didn't even expend any energy on offense. Then when they did, they were resting. Anytime they made a run, they were like, okay, we're going to rest a little bit because we're going to try to get a good shot. But once we know whether we make that shot or not, we know we're about to wear you down again and chip. And then I remember one time they were up by 2. They missed a shot, came down, got a stop, hit a 3. Went kind of 3-quarter press, boom, up by 7. It was 1 3-pointer and 2 like mid-range, layup shots going to the hoop.
And it kept happening.
Yeah.
It kept happening. Like, it was funny. You hear the announcers go, yeah, they're getting close, but watch this.
Right.
And then it would third pass in the sequence. And
they
jump the route and off you go.
And you got to give Musselman credit because, his dad, Bill Musselman, was one of the first coaches for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously he's a lifer. He's extremely good at in-game adjustments, game management, situational basketball, and then you mix that in with athleticism and pressure, and to be able to be multiple, it really, really helps. Really is would set them apart. And then also, obviously the excitement that he, you can see that energy that comes from him too.
Oh, that end of game energy,
that last dunk,
yeah, where you recognize,
you see one coach is jumping up and down, that turned to Mark Few, and he's just.
What does this say about Mark Few? Does this change perception, or is he exactly? He is exactly who we thought?
It's kind of like it's kind of like Tony Bennett with Virginia. For a while they always were,
close
get to Sweet 16, and it's in order to win. I mean, a lot of things about winning a championship, especially in the March Madness, is the matchups. The matchups. And I think with Gonzaga, a lot of times they've been matched up at certain points of their, obviously NCAA runs. That's just the total opposite of what, they are. I don't think they played that well the last 2 games. I don't think they played well against Memphis or Arkansas, but you also can't take anything away from those 2 teams because they made them play, not up to par. So
should Gonzaga be good enough at this moment? Should they be good enough to not be pressed into somebody else's style of play?
They should be, but you got to think. Last year they had Jalen Suggs, who was the ultimate eraser of any type of. Yeah. He would have been going all night through Arkansas stuff. Yeah. So you got to think. You accumulated Chet at I guess a lottery pick, but he's not a guy that can dictate the outcome of the game. You lost a lottery pick.
Then who could dictate? Okay, go ahead.
Because Jalen Suggs had the offensive team shoots, Gonzaga gets it, Jalen Suggs gets the ball. They go into a 3-quarter press or man-to-man 3-quarter. Jalen Suggs has the ball. He's the table setter, so he can dictate the outcome, because as much as they wore Gonzaga out, yes, he could wear them out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
when you have it's kind of like when you get into playoff baseball. That dude with that ball, he can eliminate some really, really good hitters if he's on. I mean, good pitching and defense in playoff baseball goes a long way, and it keeps you around, and it keeps you. I mean, just imagine if I'm just an analogy to baseball. We're all three, like you're the 3 hitter, you're the 3 hitter, you're 4 on 5, and we're used to kind of doing our thing every game, and then here we go, we're facing their 3 aces, and they're all on. Now we're going to start chasing pitches. Now we're going to not be as disciplined in there, and that's the same thing as basketball. I mean, pressure bust pipes. Yeah, I just was a little shocked that Gonzaga wasn't more prepared, because Memphis and Arkansas isn't much different except for maturity and coaching, obviously longevity there. So it's, it's a little bit, like I said, more to tighten up. But Memphis gave you a scare of that. And so when you watch Arkansas, you're like, oh, yeah, we've seen this before. So we got to be ready. And Arkansas was like, oh, the young boys that try to be like us are doing this. Oh, yeah.
You could even say Memphis has not better players overall. Well, maybe, I don't know, but they have
Skills.
They have at least one player that is better than Arkansas's best player.
But that's not what Sweet 16 basketball is.
No.
Sweet 16 basketball is my ability to beat you with my 3rd or 4th guy.
Yep.
Like the first guys, okay, in that space. But Arkansas's 3rd guy was picking off. He had 3 steals last night, 3 offensive rebounds in the second half, and then deflected 3 balls that were entry passes and made them reset, put them late in the shot clock on the sideline with 7 seconds left instead of an entry pass being allowed with 7 seconds or 10 seconds and allowing dude to do work.
Right.
Best players are great, but having those other dudes now,
they get
if you got a week,
those are the guys. I call those guys the pregame story guys. He was, he's the 3rd option, or he, fought an injury off early in the year and he hit a shot, so forth and so on. I will say this though, since we talked about the Metro, we're talking about talent inside the state. It was cool to see Hunter Salas get in there when one of their guards got in foul trouble right away. Had a good defensive series, got a ball, got to the rim, made a nice little basket. So that I'm always.
Is that the right spot for him?
Wow. I don't know.
Well, from playing time, think of Chuck.
That's all kind of how if they both get to the 3rd year in college and they're going in first round, then you got there just a different way. You know what I'm saying? Obviously they're 2 different types of players. I think Chucky was this is my opinion. I think he was college ready by his sophomore year. You know what I mean? I think.
Well, that was the conversation we were having.
I think
when he committed to Wisconsin, it was perfect.
He could have probably teleported himself to Wisconsin at that point.
It was perfect,
and he would have been able to handle himself in Big Ten basketball as a sophomore in high school.
Do you think Hunter would have been able to do that in the Big Ten?
I think he can play anywhere. I just think when you go to Gonzaga,
they were stacked.
They were stacked, and they had the number. This might have been the number 1 recruiting class. They had the number 1 recruiting class, so it's different. Where it's totally different, because they talked about it with Houston last night that Calvin Sampson he recruits certain types. It's just like Villanova, Jay Wright. They recruit certain types of players, mentality, so it makes him easy. They said he's actually a more efficient recruiter as an older guy, older gentleman, or whatever you want to call it, that he can go and look for what he wants. Same thing with Wisconsin basketball. Chucky Hebron is he's a point guard, to me, the perfect point guard coming out of high school, but he fits Wisconsin basketball. I do think he would fit at Nebraska as well. So don't think, I wish he was in the real,
I think he'd fit in just about anywhere.
Right.
He's a point guard. He's a point guard.
Whereas where Hunter, he's in part of the number 1 recruiting class on number 1 team preseason in the nation, with some guys coming back that were some dudes. Just because you're the number 1 recruiting class doesn't mean that there was a bunch of scrubs there. Everybody kind of envisions maybe the Fab 5, where you get these 5 and they come in and they start and they change some guys it takes a little bit. I think they would develop him. I think it's a good spot for him. I think that he'll do well, and I think you'll see a big jump in his playing time and production next year because he had some games where he really got off, and it wasn't against like no name state. So I was just happy to see him in there and doing well. Just like you're happy to see Chucky do well, so forth and so on.
Yeah, good stuff around. We'll throw the break. We'll come back. It's Friday. Rico will tell us what's up when we return to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Batter up! Round up your friends and coworkers to get out and play softball. Different skill levels are available in either competitive or recreational for men, women, and co-ed. All teams get 6 weeks or 8 weeks of regular season games, depending on the day you play, plus a double elimination tournament. Games start in April and play through July. Registration closes March 27th, so get signed up today. For more info and to sign up for adult summer softball, go to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear. Shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're Certified Transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln. People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat with a simplified buying process, at-home test drives, hassle-free delivery, and service pickup and return. Check out all our new vehicle specials now during Ram Truck Month at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime. At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Again, happy Friday. Thank you guys for hanging out on it's been a good week. And Sweet 16 started last night. Round 2 of the Sweet 16 is tonight. The women's Sweet 16 also starts tonight, and we'll talk about that at 9 o'clock because I'm kind of thinking that the women's games tonight may they may have as much push as the men's game, but we'll talk about that at 9 o'clock. Rico, time to tell you what's up.
Woke up this morning and I got out of bed. Had a big old cup of coffee to clear my head. Telephone rang and you wanna chat? Well, sit on down and tell me what up with that. Ooh-wee. What up with that? What up with that? Ooh-wee. What up with that? What up with that? He said, she said, we said, me said, what up with that? Who knew, you knew, said what, who do, what up with that? What up with that?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. What up, Rico?
Me and Mark watched the one with Morgan Freeman yesterday. It was great. It was like the back to school special.
Yeah,
and
he got it back in. Yeah.
He couldn't handle it. I forget Bryan Cranston's in it.
Yeah.
And he's in his underwear.
Yep.
Bryan Cranston is way too comfortable in his underwear. It's very weird. And he's like hip thrusting right next to Morgan Freeman's face. And Morgan Freeman's just like, what in the hell are you
Does he
doing?
not know what's going on?
I feel like he does, and
But
he's
he-
like playing it off. But if he doesn't,
So it's kind of like
so
when,
much better.
So it's kind of like when Gronk spiked that candy thing and Steve Harvey on New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
Steve
going,
Harvey tried to act like he didn't know Gronk was going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
But if he didn't, he did a fantastic job as
Well, he's
Morgan
an
Freeman,
actor.
as Morgan Freeman would do.
but Morgan Freeman has been the same age for 45 years.
He was born that way.
Right? 18
Like,
years old.
He hasn't. Morgan Freeman has been the same age for 45 years.
He was born with a little chocolate chips on his
like
cheeks.
him and Leonard Hamilton are the two dudes
yeah.
who literally look the same for
from
45
like
years.
1986 to
His voice dropped when he was 3, when he could finally talk.
No. You imagine young Morgan Freeman in class in elementary school. Teacher, I have a problem with this math.
No, he's pulling the teacher's
cannot
side
read.
after.
Oh, yeah.
He's an after after everybody leaves.
He doesn't talk in class.
Yeah, he doesn't talk in class, but,
Very-
but then when he talks to you, he just makes the teacher feel like an idiot.
He's very self-conscious about his voice.
Yeah.
When he was a child.
Listen, Penny, we need to have a talk about recess.
Need to have a conversation.
Can you have to elevate your game when it comes to clay and the paint? Because
You promised us chocolate chip. These are oatmeal raisins.
just 7-year-old Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
Just-
too smart for his own damn good.
The best. He's the best. What up, Rico?
So my what up is if people don't believe it already, which would be hard pressed, Devin Booker is like a top 5 scorer in today's game. Not player, scorer.
Yeah, and you didn't know that?
He dropped 49 points on the anniversary of his 70-point game, which also just so happened to be the day yesterday that Nike released their new Mamba shoes and said that they were keeping the collaboration with Kobe Bryant's family
And his
to
daughter-
release
and
Gigi.
Gigi.
Yeah.
And she's gonna have her own
Kobe.
shoe, right?
Yeah.
That's
well,
pretty
it's like the
cool.
Mambasita
Mambasita,
something, and it
yeah.
has both of their names on it.
But
and
it's going to be kind of like her.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's
and
going to
like
be
the
with
Mamba
Kobe.
logo.
That's
Okay.
pretty cool.
So Rico, first of all, yes, we're getting those shoes.
Oh, those things are gorgeous.
I'm getting those shoes.
Oh, they got them on the pictures on.
Yeah, have you
online?
seen them?
No.
Hold on, let me look them up for you. They are beautiful.
See, that gonna make a brother want to act like he can hoop.
Hey, like put them on just to go out. Like I'm fast. Did y'all do that? I hope
I would never forget when my uncle bought me my first pair of Nikes. I'll never forget. They were white. They had the blue Nike check, and they were kind of like high top. Oh, those are sweet. And they had
And
the strap on top.
Yep.
So it must have been Pittsburgh or whoever, wore them. Yeah, those are sweet. I'm gonna have to get a pair of those. But I remember telling myself, I think I went down to the park and played, and I was, oh yeah, I'm jumping 4 inches higher.
Right, like
Always,
immediately,
yeah.
like I'd get my new cleats, and I was like, I'm so fast right now.
I'm
And I would
fast.
go out and run like
Yeah.
I'm so fast right now.
I got those when I was in high school. I got there's the Nikes that you could change the color of the swoosh. You just take out a little panel and you put it in there. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna put this color in here and this one. We'll put this one and this one. And you kind of started doing. I'm like, yeah, okay, we got this.
Yeah. It's funny that I remember one time I used to always think like, because sometimes like in the end of high school we'd be in some muddy games.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have black cleats or whatever. One day I was like, oh no, man. He's like, you need to wear some white cleats. He's like, that's gonna make you look extra fast on video. He's like, just spat them bad boys up, and that's all they're gonna be seeing is that white, the white front and the white back.
Your dad would tape.
Smart.
Your dad would tape everything but the toe.
Yeah. That's what he was doing. He was,
right. Everything but the toe.
Yeah.
You get the black shoes, but you'd wrap the tape around.
And then he changed it up. And I started to do this where he would just tape his shoelaces because that was like a deal. So he would just tape that over.
Just the one stripe.
Yeah. Just the one stripe.
I never did. Well, yeah, I did. I did the one stripe. But I was the only white shoes player on my team. Everybody else was black Puma.
You that guy. You that guy.
I was the white Puma. I was Joe Willie. I was Eddie Bell.
That is not surprising.
DP, you that guy that, and in the NFL locker rooms, they have like the standard how like so you don't get fined.
Mm-hmm.
DP's the guy. If you say your towel's only supposed to be 6 inches, DP's got the whole Holiday Inn Express towel, and then the little kind of like not the washcloth, but the like hand towel
right here
going down the front.
Right here, you flip it through the belt.
That's him.
So nobody could yank it off. Like
that's him
through the hole.
That's him with the neck roll and the elbow pads, and if he could, he would have wore the Eric Dickerson goggles.
It's not surprising.
If I knew my eyes were bad, I would have.
It's not surprising. I see all of this.
Yeah, I'm all guilty as charged. All of that. All right, we'll turn the break. 9:00 hour. 4 more games tonight. We'll go to the other 3 games from last night, and then we'll dive into the women's pool. Man, 4 games tonight, and they're all really good ones. So, lots to talk about here on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear. Shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're Certified Transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
KFXL weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
A mix of sun and clouds, windy again today as northwest winds will gust over 30. We'll see an afternoon high of 58. Passing cloud cover tonight with winds calming and a low down to around 28. Tomorrow, again, a mix of sun and clouds, not quite as windy, but slightly cooler with a high of 53. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, I'm Charlie Stone, back with the latest news from Honda of Lincoln. Joining me now is the general manager, Andy Goodyear. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, with spring right around the corner, how is your supply of new Hondas and pre-owned vehicles?
Really good, Charlie. As I've said before, when you drive by our lot, you don't see what you're looking for, just remember we have hundreds of new Hondas arriving soon, with Honda continuing to offer 0.9% APR financing to qualified buyers. Plus, we have over 125 pre-owned vehicles in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
That's great, Andy. Any more great news?
There is, Charlie. Honda just announced financing from 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Hondas for qualified buyers.
So come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat with a simplified buying process, at-home test drives, hassle-free delivery, and service pickup and return. Check out all our new vehicle specials now during Ram Truck Month at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime. At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Round up your friends and coworkers to get out and play softball. Different skill levels are available in either competitive or recreational for men, women, and co-ed. All teams get 6 weeks or 8 weeks of regular season games, depending on the day you play, plus a double elimination tournament. Games start in April and play through July. Registration closes March 27th, so get signed up today. For more info and to sign up for adult summer softball, go to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is all about the good and creating more of it. More drive-through celebrations, more weekend traditions, more family dinners and lunches, more car picnics and road trips, more desserts, maybe more second desserts, more celebrating being together as much as we can. There's always room for more good and more Freddy's. Keep the good going with a taste that brings you back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School. Brought to you by Sandhills Global. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hour number 2. I'm sick of Rico already. Just sick of you.
Already?
You ain't gonna.
The show just started.
You're not just gonna sit here.
The show just started.
And blaspheme Donovan Mitchell.
I'm not blaspheming. I'm just saying he's going to be in New York when he becomes a free agent. I told you he's a partial owner of the New York Mets.
Those are not the Knicks.
He's a big fan
Those
of
are
the
not
Knicks.
the Knicks.
He's a fan of the Knicks.
Okay, but he's also a fan of the Lakers.
He is a fan of R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle as well.
What?
He just loves the city of New York.
Rico's just lying
like just
all of these are true stories. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like just make
they're
up
really
stuff.
good friends. Because him and Cat are going to be in New York.
Yeah, because those are the only friends he has in the NBA.
Him and Cat are going to be in New York. He just loves it in New York.
So now it's him and Cat.
Yeah, you get to trade Julius away.
A
RJ,
salary cap
Donovan,
of
and Cat.
$900 million.
It'll work. Don't worry, it'll work.
Old School brought to you by Sandhills Global. You're so stupid.
Salary cap means nothing. I turned it off.
They're hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Openings in hundreds of spots in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Jump over to sandhills.jobs today. Coach K has it going on. He has it going on. Duke looked like the team we thought they were going to be.
hoping to be in his
right
last year,
Before we keep complimenting them and everything, did you see Coach K call William soft?
Yeah.
For the layup.
Dang, Coach K, you got a little gangster.
He just turned to us and goes, soft.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. What
Yes,
you
sir.
gonna do?
Yep.
Now I'm telling everybody
It was great.
everything.
It was great. Because the camera turned at the perfect time and he just turns to us, he's soft.
Like you just I know at some point, like if he wins this thing, he's going to pull a Samson and just take off everything right there at the end of the game.
Oh, you ain't gonna be able to tell him nothing.
Like
if he
he's
wins.
like, okay, I got some things I need to get off my chest. First of all, I want to talk about, like, he's going to say, F North Carolina. If you're Tar Heel, I hate you.
Yeah.
I'm out. It's gonna be. Look, Jay, can they continue the run? Like, can they play at the level they play? They were they made their last 8 shots, shot 71% in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, not to that clip, but not to that clip.
71%.
But yeah, I know, but they're not going to be able to play that clip.
Goodness
But
gracious.
they've been playing well on the defensive end. Though.
Jay, you and me couldn't shoot 71%
Yeah,
by ourselves.
layup. Yeah.
And by the way, you're in my head. You're in my head because you tell the story that like you've always been explosive. Like as an athlete, you've always been explosive. And then the day hits where you go to elevate and explode, and
it
it
don't
just
work.
It just
You
doesn't.
you don't implode. You don't.
Yeah,
Have that. Yeah.
you just
I ain't got no quickness, no nothing, man.
Right, like I went through, and so a buddy of mine pointed. He saw some pictures. He goes, "Man, you used to have legs. Like, what is going on?" I was like, "I'm old, man. Like, I'm conceding that." So, in your head, I don't know if you all are like me, but if I'm around something that is like in a room and it's 9 feet or 10 feet high, in my head, I'm gonna dunk. Like I'm gonna dunk on this. Like if it's a door, if it's a sign, like I'm
Right.
just gonna run up on it and just slam it and keep moving.
Obviously.
Right?
Do you ever do like you try to do like the weird dunks, but you can't jump too high because it's a doorway. So you're like trying to like just do like
trying to
do like a
rock the
windmill.
cradle or
Yeah,
something,
trying to
yeah.
do something and then
Right?
like
Like
reverse.
So I'm not the only person that when you see something, you imagine if there was a basket there.
No, it's necessary.
Okay. So I'm in the basement of a building and it's a high ceiling, and I'm just in my head. I think I'm 30.
Right.
25.
Uh-oh.
Like I thought, Jay, I thought,
Yeah.
oh, like I had a towel and I'm like, okay, let me just explode up, slam it down, and walk off. And I hit Jay. I went up and I mean, in my head, I was elevating
I would just say, what's wrong with you, man?
until
Gravity. This gravity took
Right.
over.
Jay.
Gravity was like,
Hey,
hello.
Hey, gravity. Hey, gravity said like this. Come here, young man. Come down here to reality.
grabbed him by his pants and said, no. Why are you doing
They
this?
said,
Why are you
I
doing this?
told you the last time, don't do this, or you're gonna have some ramifications. Next time, this is your last warning. Then you next time you're gonna break something.
Nah, I feel like it was like a parent that like you already told your
Right.
kid twice, like don't do that. And I was like,
Don't
you know
touch
what?
the stove.
You know what?
Go right ahead. Yeah.
I was mortified. I was mortified. Jay, it was like, you see the kid who was just jumping and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Nothing's
Oh, man.
happening.
Hey. Yo,
Like you just put your arms up.
Yeah. praying.
So close.
Like I was like, oh my goodness! Like if I was,
You was praying for rain.
I was, it
It wasn't happening.
terrible. It was
Okay,
ter-
could we or could we have not slipped that piece of paper under?
You're right.
And I went through-
He got the notebook vertical.
He got on-
instead of put inches, just put NB.
He,
Notebook.
he thought he got up, but really he just got on his tiptoes.
yeah, that's it.
Just
Yeah.
It was
Ain't got no quick twitch, man.
It
No
was
quick twitch.
terrible. Like I was mortified. I kept thinking, oh man, Jay is right. This thing doesn't
Yeah.
work
It
He
don't
anymore.
thought,
work,
it,
man.
he thought it was the creak of the floor when he was jumping off. It was just a creak of his
It
shoes
Hey,
just bending a little bit.
Hey, man.
He got his tiptoes.
I coached these 14-year-olds, or this team and 14-year-old, this one team in particular. And there's these 3 kids. You know, like sometimes you try to do a drill where it's like a one-on-one closeout, or you're trying to, demonstrate, a move you're trying to get them to, put into their arsenal. So at the end of practice, I'll never forget. I was messing with them. I said, you know what? I'm gonna give you three little chumps, a chance at the title. Well, these little young kids want to break your ankles. You know what I mean? That's their deal. They
Yeah,
don't even really care if they make the shot. They want to break your
I want
ankles.
to cross you over.
Well, the
and-
thing is, it's almost a proven fact. If you cross somebody over and they touch the earth, the basketball gods will reward you with
Yeah.
a made basket.
So they doing all these moves, and I didn't get crossed up, but I was having to play some defense. Chasing this one dude like just got. I would say he's like a little Joe Dumars. He's gonna dribble in and out of everything. So we played. I woke up the next day. Yo, ankle was swollen, hip was stiff, knee was hurting, and I was like, I only went 1-on-1 3 times.
like, did I work out yesterday? Did I
Yeah.
do legs yesterday? Did I do any of that? No. Look, man. it's an 11-foot ceiling, but the beam that was there, it's one of those big wooden beams. And so there's a block at the top, right? Which should be about 10 feet.
Yeah.
Right?
Basketball hoop.
Right? And I mean, I could never dunk, but I could always get to the rim. I'm not sure I could get the bottom of the net now.
Dang.
They do be like that sometimes.
Like my spine is like, nope.
Compression.
Right. You ain't getting up out. I mean, that's not even. One of my best friends. He's always been in phenomenal shape, and he would play in these men's leagues. And it was funny, where they keep stats.
Yeah.
So he'd be calling me up on like Monday. This is just a few years ago. Oh man, I'm averaging 19 points a game. We're 5-1. You play up the Lifetime up in Minneapolis. Yeah, he called me up. I didn't get the call on Monday or Tuesday. Friday, he's like, dog. He's like, I got hurt. I'm thinking like you rolled an ankle. He's like, I bruised my Achilles. I said, well, I'm officially retired from showing anybody any type of bat. I am not trying to be walking around here with a blown Achilles.
I mean, it was all I could feel. I mean, I'm like, I know I put on weight, but man, like Jay, there's no like.
You got inspired by seeing them videos of Zion. That's what it was.
Look, I'm applauding Zion now. Today, I'm like, oh,
Zion being 6'6", 6'7", 280, 290, doing the stuff he's doing.
Look,
he need to play tight. He need to be like DN or something. Imagine him coming off the end.
You imagine him catching slant routes.
No.
Zion mess around, end up like Jason Peters, end up being a left tackle. Jason Peters came in from Arkansas as a tight end after year one. Oh yeah, you
can slide you over here.
Yeah, we're gonna worry.
Take one step this way.
You know what a kick step is? No. Well, you about to learn.
You're about to learn it right now.
Hey, you make it a Hall of Fame career. So there ain't nothing wrong with it.
I'm just sad. Anyway, yeah.
Hey, it happens to all of us. It's okay.
That is depressing.
It's okay.
That is depressing. Like
you just have to be a mentalist now.
I have to be the.
But why are you even doing it?
Because it's a thing that I've
just
done.
have to.
It's a thing that
so
I've
you
done.
like Rico's the type of dude I think you see him in like high V. He just walking and then say somebody's walking towards him. He just cross them up.
Yeah, like
I used to do that in college all the time. I just Eurostep.
Oh no, I cross Becky over all the time. She don't even know. Like
random, but it'd be like random people. Like I'd be walking down and I would kind of push my cart like forward, like by them, and I would just go right in front of them, just and I'd be like, "It's good," and people were like, "What the heck?"
No, I would do it in a grocery store with a basket, and I would just take something off the shelf and just slam it in somebody else's basket and just walk off. Like what? And then who's the crazy black dude putting stuff in my cart?
I used to. You like grab something, you like shoot it, but you make sure it's not breakable. I did that with like one of those plastic bottles, and the cap broke. And I was like, damn.
Like Rico get to the counter, they charge extra stuff for all the stuff he broke.
Well, I grabbed a second one and I took it up there, and I was like, this was broken on the shelf.
Right.
Rico.
Yeah.
Rico, you
What?
did not.
What?
Rico,
broken.
You know what Rico said? In accounting, you got damaged goods. Then he's like, well,
It was hey, at least I took it up front. I didn't leave it back there. Look, I worked in
You
retail.
don't get credit for doing stuff you're supposed to do.
I worked in retail for 6 years. People do it all the time. It's fine.
You are not supposed to take credit for stuff you're supposed to do.
It's fine. I was a good person. I took it up there. I've seen people just
No,
break something
I
and
took
leave
it
it.
up there.
You.
Rachel was telling me a story of some lady broke like this glass bottle of something in the store, and like a worker came over and she goes, like the lady like hit it and it fell, and she goes, I don't know, it just fell off the shelf and it broke. I was just oh no, she said this was broken when I got here. She's like, I came around the corner, this was broken. And Rachel's like, this little late, what are you
Hey
doing?
man, people be wilding, man. You
The
know what I'm
stories
saying?
people come up with. And like I said, I worked in retail for many years, and we see the cameras and we see people
Rico,
breaking
you're 12. You haven't worked in
Many years. Many years.
You're
Many years.
You're 12. What are
Many
you
years.
talking about?
Rico. Just
6 years of
because you're
retail.
around some older guys don't mean that you old.
Look, let me speak my truth.
Hey, you ever been out to eat with somebody? There was a guy that we were rookies together, and we were in Buffalo. So in Buffalo, I mean, it's really obviously grown since I was there, and we were on rookie contracts, and we were staying over at the 4 Point Sheridan. So I don't think any of us had a car, so it just put stuff that would be within walking distance or have a veteran drop us off. So we'd either go to Red Lobster because it was unlimited crab legs on Monday. Then we would go to right across the street was Olive Garden, and then in close proximity there was an Outback. And so they would give us options at different places. Even McDonald's, they say if you're going to go to McDonald's, get this because it's the best thing for you if you got to eat there. So we go and we get it. And I remember I always would get the chicken on the Barbie and all this. So the one guy we would always go with. I mean, homeboy was so particular about how he liked it. Like if he wanted a salad, he's like, "Oh, I want the lettuce, then I want the tomatoes on the side, 3 croutons and all that type of stuff." I was like, "Bro, somebody gonna just spit in your food because they're gonna be tired of you coming in." Because we be going in there once or twice a week. It was one time they had this new kind of thing they might have been trying at Outback. When I say homeboy ate the whole thing except for like a half or 2 bites, and then sent it back talking about it ain't taste good. I was like, yo, that might be the most gangster, and did it with a straight face.
Wow.
Talking about what cooked. I'm sitting there. I was like, it was me, Antoine Winfield, and Peerless Price at the table. We were sitting in amazement, like, did this brother really just we all grubbed it? We were all broke bread. Yeah, it's good. This isn't. He's like, oh no, this one's good. I want this instead. And then got him whatever his regular meal was and marked out. I'm like, dang.
What is the rule?
Should we ask the old Wiley retail veteran over here?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, young blood.
So if you go to a place and you order a meal, how many bites can you take?
Oh, I didn't work in. I didn't.
Like
I worked
3
in
or
real
4.
there.
Like what's
first,
the line?
like if you order a steak or like chicken, I'm cutting in the middle, make sure it's cooked.
Yeah.
And then if I don't do well with dairy, so if there's something that say like if I say no cheese, and say say sometimes the cheese you can't see it and it's in the middle, then 1 or 2 bites and I'll send it back. But it wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't 1, 2, 3, or 4 bites. And then you can say, oh well, this doesn't taste right, because sometimes you could bite on the outside, say like of a piece of chicken, and then
Mhm.
as you get towards
or
bigger,
you get
but-
to the middle of the steak and it's not how you
right, something like that. Literally, there was like 2 bites, and then the thing is, he ate all the sides though with it, and the brother dipped the sides in it. Hey, you dip this, you might have like a little steak, a little potato or something.
Yeah.
There was 2. The whole plate was clean except for like not even like a 1/6 or 1/8 of a steak.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
Everything that was on his plate that's no
Wasn't
longer
good.
here was awful.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
It's terrible.
I had some friends that.
Hey, I
that
got
work,
I had
and
barbecue
people
sauce
do
all
that.
in my hand. I ate the ribs. I was grubbing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm licking my fingers. I'm asking for like one of those towelette things
Yeah.
or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, I need to, can we get the check in? This will take this back, and so I want this. And then we got it for free. I was like, man, you know what? I need to start doing that. I just could never get myself to doing it.
I've had a time where I was eating a steak, and I should have just cut in the middle, but I asked for it medium rare, and I'm eating it, and I get to the middle, and it's like rare, and I was like, well, I ate too much, so I just like,
Or just say, you know what? I'll
anything.
take it home because I can
Yeah.
put it in the microwave. That's actually going to
Because they came over and they're like, so how's everything? And I'm like, I don't want to make a scene. I was like, it's good, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because you know what? The people that serve the food don't cook it.
Mhm.
And if it's busy in there, those mistakes are going to happen.
So yeah, I just took it home and I threw it on my grill.
I know
Finished
DP
off.
said he used to run a bar, but but you want to know one of the funniest stories I ever witnessed at a bar? It was by my cousin, and he would order. Or at this time, I don't think he drinks anymore. Or, obviously we don't go out, but his drink was Long Island iced tea, and I don't think he really realized the amount of alcohol that's
In a Long Island?
in a Long Island, and the effects that it can have on you in a very short amount of time. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, it's a hitter.
So we used to go to this place called South Beach in Minneapolis. That was kind of like the happening spot. But then there was one down the street, and I'll never forget this. That the Twins were playing the Yankees, and the Yankees were in town. So it was like like a Thursday or Friday night. So I just was you getting back in town. We went out or whatever, and so it's a new spot, and I always try to be smart because I knew the cover charge would go up from like say like $10 to $20 once them cats start coming.
Mhm.
So I'm like, well, dog, let's get down there an hour or two early so we can chill, kind of get our spot and kick it, So I was sitting at the bar and I might have ordered like vodka cranberry or something. He ordered a Long Island. He drank it, and he's like, this stuff is kind of weak. I'm like, man, this is the first drink, man. Just chill. We're gonna have plenty more, man. You don't want to have full gas.
Famous last words.
Takes another one. Takes a big. I gotta tell him, man. He ain't made this drink. He's like, man. He's like, he's from North Minneapolis. He's like, I'm from North Minneapolis. He's like, I know what I like. Then I was like, oh, and he has no filter. So I was like, look, man, just finish the drink. We'll go and order from the other guy. We'll be good. See if he makes it better. Finishes the drink, but then he keeps the drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like has it. Order another drink. Ordered it from the other guy. So then I was like, I said, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go over, and one of my friends walked in. So as I'm walking, the dude who hadn't been, so we're starting to make our new drinks. He's coming with me, and then say Rico's the bartender. He's walking and acting like he's coming over to talk to one of our friends. He stops. He said, "Hey man, come here. See, I gotta tell you a secret," to the bartender. And he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" He kind of leans in. He's like, "No, come in, man. I gotta tell you something, man, about this drink." So the dude was excited. He leans in. I turn around. He's like, "You make this drink like a B." And the dude was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You make this drink like a B." He's like, "Next time I order from you, you better make me a real drink." And slammed it down. He's like, "I ain't paying for that either." And the dude ain't making pay for it. I think if you act ignorant enough, you get it.
My rule was simple.
But he said, "Hey, this drink here, and y'all the B word. Next time I come here, make my drink right."
Well, I would have handled that because he would never come back.
Right.
Like that would have been how I deal with that. Listen,
I can't do that.
Well, no, I'm talking.
small.
Look, if you want a free drink, just tell me you want a free drink.
Right.
I would much
I don't
rather
think he wanted a free drink. He wanted his stuff. If this is the drink, he want 99.9% alcohol.
But here's my thing. If when I'm running a spot, I'm okay with the person that tells me I want a strong drink.
Yeah.
Tell me in advance so I know what I'm dealing with.
Right.
But one drink or one customer,
that's what I'm saying,
is never going to ruin my day. And it's never going to make or break my night. So I would rather people be honest and just tell me what you want so we can move along.
I was laughing so hard I was crying.
Look, I would have too, but yeah, I still would have thrown them out. We'll throw it to break. We'll come back. Sweet 16 talk coming up on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is all about the good and creating more of it. More drive-through celebrations, more weekend traditions, more family dinners and lunches, more car picnics and road trips, more desserts, maybe more second desserts. More celebrating being together as much as we can. There's always room for more good and more Freddy's. Keep the good going with a taste that brings you back.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The biggest boss.
This is a Friday song. It's also a Monday song. So
it's an everyday song.
What do you say? I needed that. Again, late night sitting and just talking.
Those are the best.
I mean, Jabba Chamberlain is a storyteller, and you're just sitting there in your space.
You know, if it wasn't for those damn midges,
I never
met.
Won. I've never met Jabba. I've seen him, just never like really met him. I know his son. I'll say this: his son, I think, goes to Southwest.
Pitches, DHs,
but he can hoop.
Yeah,
he can hoop. And I obviously, you know that he can probably play baseball.
Jabba has brother tendencies. He has brother tendencies, right?
Yeah, I see. Hey. Good afternoon, my octoroon.
No, you know, yeah. Jabba's. I look after last night. Like I don't think I'm speaking out of line to say that I fully expect a lot of Jabba Chamberlain on this station coming up here real soon.
What, he threw 100?
Yeah, Jabba, no joke, man.
Did you see that freshman from like Texas throwing 103 or something? That's all in sports. Is that real?
And there's apparently,
but 18 years old.
But there's two kids in the state who are throwing that kind of number.
No, what y'all on? Like, what are they doing with these kids at 18 years old to throw that fast?
Yeah. Well, you got.
I always say when you see a big, when you used to see a big country Nebraska kid, they'd come in and he, obviously wasn't on steroids, but big old husky. He'd been out working the farm, throwing hay bales and doing some hard work,
tackling.
But
cows.
I'm like, yeah, you've been drinking that milk straight out the cow. Just
straight on.
Just pick the cow up.
Yeah,
thirsty.
Thick milk. It ain't milk. It's a milkshake.
You gotta chew it.
Yeah, you gotta chew that milk.
That's
how you get
that grown.
Get all the calcium.
Hey, 18 years old with like 48-year-old grown man strength.
Yeah, and those are some like we were asking, like what's going on, but it's throwing is now such a unique
science too.
Yeah,
and they got with the weight. Now I'm sure weights are more prevalent. Weight programs are more prevalent.
Resistance is more prevalent.
Resistance and kind of breaking down the mechanics of throwing to throw harder and longer, and actually probably to try. I'm sure they're trying to do it to be more efficient to lessen the injuries. And one of the things that's crazy, I was at this when I retired. I did a speech, and Tom House came there, and he used to rehab a lot of. At this time, he had obviously a well-known throwing coach, injury coach. he was working primarily with a lot of baseball players that were coming off of Tommy John.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had just said, I will never forget this. I listened to him talk. He's like, yeah, I'm going to start helping NFL quarterbacks. And I think he's worked with Tom Brady since like right around then.
Everybody.
And so that was back. See, I retired 2007-8. So right around then, that's when, even a guy like him was talking about the mechanics and how you need to use your legs and your lower back. And, he was talking about the C angle where that will create kind of like a whip effect. So you use your legs, you kind of pause, and then it's kind of like a rubber band effect. So, Jabba obviously was next level when he came. And then now you had Chapman and all these other guys that can throw. You even had the guy that I'll call him the Kimbrel or whatever, that used to have his hand like that.
Craig Kimbrel.
Yeah, they have that. He could throw hard. And you got some kids 18 years old throwing 103. Can you just go to the pros after that? Like if you go to college, do you have to stay in baseball 3 years? Like
2 years.
2 years. So what do you do with that kid? You just keep. Do you risk injury? Do you keep risk injury, or do you just say, you know what, because he's dominating? Because at least on SportsCenter that one time he was dominating. So I'm assuming he's going to do it the rest of the year. Do you go your second? Because Tommy John, now you're going to lose some velocity, right?
No, it actually strengthens. It actually strengthens. It's an advantage.
You get a fake.
There are guys who are faking the injury and get the surgery so that you can have the enhanced joint.
Right.
So that's a big. There are a lot of kids who do, and they're doing it early enough so that they can.
That's a thing. It's weird. That's a thing. Like some parents, not a lot, but there are some parents who are having their kids get Tommy John early, so they don't have to, quote unquote, they don't have to worry about it later, and also it strengthens their arm.
Is it?
It's good. You can retear. You can
Child
retear.
Protective Services on that.
Some people would call that an investment.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it, but I know people who have done it.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. I figured I'm sure it's just like, I remember talking to my dad about big fear back when he played. If you get any type of knee injury, that's pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
You're done at least a whole year, because they didn't know how to rehab it. So imagine, even like when I was playing, you figure like ACL is a career. Like when I was playing in the NFL, that's a career altering deal, especially if you're in the middle of your NFL career. Now, look at OBJ. You really out for 6 months. There's guys that came. Adrian Peterson. Remember he hurt his ACL and came back and ran for 2 Gs the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then had another one and came back and ran for 1,200 with Washington. Like he was just hanging out.
He took a year off and said, I'm going to go over here to Washington, run for a G. Then I'm going to go to Detroit and only play like 6 games, get 800. Then he went to Seattle, was balling last year.
It's all.
He said, you know what? I should just take a year off between every season. It's pretty good.
Yeah, well, he's still, he can still go. We'll throw the break because we've still got 2 more segments. We'll get Jay's picks for tonight.
I did good yesterday, though.
Yeah, we're going to put you back in the pool. Let's go.
Yeah.
Coach Foreman will give it to us next.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices. helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at freedominlaw.com today.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Wedding season is underway. Stop wearing your fading, wrinkling shirts and update your wardrobe today at M Suits Clothiers in Lincoln. M Suits has men's clothing for every occasion, from business to leisure to weddings and formals. And they've been chosen by Lincoln as best of men's clothing for 4 years running. The buying process is quick and easy with personal service that's hard to find. And they're family owned, where you are also treated like a part of the family. M Suits Clothiers, just south of 56th and Pine Lake on Red Rock Lane.
Hello, I'm Charlie Stone, back with the latest news from Honda of Lincoln. Joining me now is the general manager, Andy Goodyear. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, with spring right around the corner, how is your supply of new Hondas and pre-owned vehicles?
Really good, Charlie. As I've said before, when you drive by our lot, you don't see what you're looking for, just remember we have hundreds of new Hondas arriving soon, with Honda continuing to offer 0.9% APR financing to qualified buyers. Plus, we have over 125 pre-owned vehicles in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
That's great, Andy. Any more great news?
There is, Charlie. Honda just announced financing from 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Hondas for qualified buyers.
So come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Back to old school with DP and J.
Again, I want to thank the fans and the listeners who came out to Tanner's last night. We'll be back there tonight, 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I can tell you there'll be some volleyball players there tonight. There'll be some football players there tonight. A lot of the basketball players are out and about. Like, they're not even in town. So we were trying to work that out. But we will have some volleyball players and some football players there tonight. So come on down, hang out, watch some basketball with us. We're not broadcasting from there. We're just hanging out and high-fiving, and we'll give away, got some giveaways, some Husker basketballs to give out, some couple of jerseys. So matter of fact, we'll do a raffle. I think we were supposed to bring them last night, but we have a signed Grant Wistrom and we have a signed Jason Peter that we will raffle off tonight. But you'll have to be there for the raffle. So you got to put your name in the box, but you got to be there.
Sorry, you have to stay.
Have to stay. And what we are watching, game 1, 7:09 tip, number 15 St. Peter's versus Purdue, the loneliest, saddest Big Ten team. It's just there by itself, trying to hang out and represent and make sure. Because understand this: if there are no Big Ten teams in the grade 8, the Big Ten is going to take a beatdown. They're going to take a beatdown anyway.
Yeah.
Because you only got one left.
Right.
This is not good. Jay Foreman, who you got?
I got Purdue.
Okay.
I think the way that they played and were able to kind of pull away late against Texas, I thought that was a really good game for them. I think their size is going to really, wear down St. Peter's. I think that Purdue will compete. I think when you have Ivy, you got the big guy in the middle, 55, and then you got Turner, I think their point guard, and then you got Williams coming off the bench, who was all Big Ten a couple years ago,
right?
And he's a bruiser. Especially you can run like a 4-out with him and really let him get down. and he can get up and down the court. So you can play like multiple if you get up in a track meet. I like Purdue. I like the way they're coached. I like the way they played last game. I like St. Peter's, but I just think that Purdue's a better team.
Rico, who you got?
I'm going to do the same thing I did yesterday. I want St. Peter's. I think Purdue.
Well,
Purdue's got too much.
You have to pick one.
You know what? I'm just going to go against J4. I'm going St. Peter's. I think they're the first 15 seed to make it to the Elite Eight.
There you go.
All right. 7:29 tip. Number 4 Providence versus number 1 Kansas.
Man, I've liked Providence all year, but I think Kansas is starting to kind of do their thing and playing with some good energy and really effective. And they D up and they got some depth. So, I'm going to go with Kansas. I just think that they're playing really good basketball, but Providence is not going to go away easy. But I think this is a perfect matchup, not a perfect, but a really good matchup for Kansas with their inside-outside game, and they have the Big 12 Player of the Year.
Rico?
Kansas's last game was against Creighton, and they barely beat them. Providence, their game before the tournament, they played Creighton and got destroyed, so I'm going to go with Kansas.
Okay. Late games. There's 2. Number 8 North Carolina versus number 4 UCLA. Blue blood.
Blue blood.
Jeez.
North Carolina is playing, like I said, they're playing. They're probably the hottest team in the nation right now, or one of them. They're playing well on all 3 levels: outside game, inside game, mid range, and they're going against UCLA. That even though they're 27-7 and have been pretty impressive throughout the whole tournament, I don't think UCLA is just either lived up to the hype or played as well as I thought they should at this, considering how they played last year and the talent they have coming back. But they will grind you down on offense and defense, man. But the only problem I have with UCLA, and I'm going to pick North Carolina, there hasn't been that one consistent dude every single game. And if you're waiting for somebody to do something, nobody will do anything when you're playing against the size, speed, stamina, and they're playing really, really good right now. I'm gonna go with North Carolina.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with the Bruins. I think it's finally time for Johnny Juzang to wake up and realize, what he did last year in the tournament, he can do again. UCLA's defense is stifling. They only allow 54 points a game. Yeah. So I think they'll figure out a way to slow down North Carolina and keep it to a kind of low scoring game. I don't see it getting into the 80s.
Number 11 Iowa versus number 10 Miami. Come on. Number 11 versus number 10. What is going on?
Well, first of all,
the Fighting Leonard Hamiltons.
First of all, Iowa State is representing Big 12 basketball. They play some stifling D. Obviously, their last game they got after Wisconsin. They've hit on a couple transfers. But they're playing a Miami team that was more than impressive against Auburn. They beat Auburn at what Auburn does really, really good. And partly is because they have 4 guards, right? All of them play over 30 minutes. All of them are averaging double digits in points. So when you have 4 guards, you can break down any press, any type of pressure. You can wear the team out on offense and defense, but then also you can control the tempo of the game. And that's huge against a team like Iowa State. And then they have a Wardenberg in the middle that's doing some stuff. So I'm going to go with Miami because, one, they're playing the best and they have 4 legitimate guards. And I think they're going to wear down Iowa State defensively, meaning that their offensive guys, their guards are going to be able to control the tempo.
Rico, who you got?
Miami's hot. Miami's got the athleticism advantage. Iowa State plays stifling defense, but I just think everything that Jay said is just too much for Iowa State to take it or to handle. So I'm gonna go Hurricanes.
So UCLA and North Carolina have combined for 17 tournament titles, 11 for UCLA, 6 for North Carolina. Rico, I think your question should be who's in between them. UCLA 11, North Carolina 6. Rico's quiz is up next.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What are you doing, Sip?
I thought the chickens could use some more light in their lives.
So you're building what exactly?
It's a motion censored switchboard. Duh.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Of course. Ow! God! Ow!
Seems like a job for a professional.
Just one more wire. Yep, there you go, right there.
Don't be like Chip. Call Joe at Ambition Electric for any of your electric needs at 402-217-3415.
This is your high school minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In baseball on Thursday, Lincoln East decimated Lincoln High 11-0. Cameron Tennert was the star of the game with 3 hits and 4 RBIs. Lincoln North Star won over Norfolk 11-4, and Lincoln Southeast beat Grand Island 7-5. In track, Lincoln Pius X showed up in a big way during the Northeast Relays on Thursday. The boys won 4 events and the girls won 6. Reese Crossroad won the boys' long jump and triple jump for the Bolts. Kate Campos for Lincoln Pius won the 100-meter hurdles with a time of 15.02 seconds. Lincoln East Sam Capos won the discus and shot put. In coaching news, Lincoln Southeast has announced a new wrestling coach. Braden Willis, currently an assistant wrestling coach at UNK and former wrestler at UNK, will take over as head coach next season. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
A mix of sun and clouds, windy again today as northwest winds will gust over 30. We'll see an afternoon high of 58. Passing cloud cover tonight with winds calming in a low down to around 28. Tomorrow, again, a mix of sun and clouds, not quite as windy, but slightly cooler with a high of 53. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wedding season is underway. Stop wearing your fading, wrinkling shirts and update your wardrobe today at M Suits Clothiers in Lincoln. M Suits has men's clothing for every occasion, from business to leisure to weddings and formals. And they've been chosen by Lincoln as best of men's clothing for 4 years running. The buying process is quick and easy with personal service that's hard to find. And they're family owned, where you are also treated like a part of the family. M Suits Clothiers, just south of 56th and Pine Lake on Red Rock Lane.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
What does better service mean? At Allo, it means that you get the best fiber internet available at prices that work for you. Better service means installers who show up on time. Better service means no billing shenanigans. Better service means a real person answers the phone. If you're not paying for better service, what are you paying for? Get Allo. Get better service. Switch today at allofiber.com/better service.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment of Old School. Aaron Davis will join us for one-on-one. And we'll talk a little bit about his life, his journey, and his love for all things Huskers. Rico. Right?
I'm not doing your question.
I gave you the question.
You did.
But you have your own question.
I do have my own question, but you can ask your question again.
So college basketball championships, teams with the most championships. Of course, UCLA is number one with 11, North Carolina is third with 6. Here's some other names to consider: Villanova with 3, Kansas with 3, UConn with 4, which shocked us because we just did not put them in that place that they have 4 national championships. So blue blood status reconsidered.
Give it to them. They get it.
Right? Reconsidered with 4. Indiana with 5. Duke with 5. And then I asked who was number 2, who was between UCLA and North Carolina. The answer is Kentucky. Kentucky with 8. 11 UCLA, 8 Kentucky, 6 North Carolina, 5 Duke, 5 Indiana. We kind of put those 5 in the blue blood category. Right. I don't think we made a decision on Kansas.
Kansas is. That's
Kansas
where
is a blue
started.
blood.
That's a blue blood.
Yeah.
So if Kansas is a 3, that means Villanova. That means Villanova with 3, and Villanova might be the favorite to get number 4.
Yeah, the way they're playing.
Right.
Yeah,
So
they're playing some good basketball.
All right, Rico, what's your question?
My question has to do with the women's tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to ask for the number 1 team with the most championships because I'm sure people would automatically just go with UConn, and you would be correct. They have 11, all Gino Auriemma. Number 2.
That's crazy. All with him, though.
All with him. 95 was his first. 2016 was his last one. Number 2, I'll give it to you. Tennessee with 8. There are 2 teams tied for 3rd. Who are those 2 teams?
Stanford.
Stanford is one of them.
After that, I don't know.
1990, 92, and 2021.
Old Dominion.
No.
Old Dominion won.
Oh, Louisiana Tech? No. Baylor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Baylor
Are
has
those all
3.
Kim Monk? Are those all Crazy Kim?
2005,
What's wrong with her?
2012.
She on one.
She was
wild.
Again, she is another one.
Yeah,
She
it's all
falls in
Kim.
the category of people that I know who have lost their minds in the last 8 years. I was
Kim
like, what
Mulkey.
is go? That was not Kim Mulkey.
I don't know, man.
I think how she left Baylor left some
sour taste.
Sour taste.
Yeah. Tied for 4th is Notre Dame with 2 and Louisiana Tech with 2.
Muffy. Well, but then you have to consider that there were national championships before, before the NCAA. So Immaculata, Delta State, those are teams that early in the process.
And then USC also tied with 2.
You can't forget the Lady Trojans, man. The women of Troy. You cannot forget them. I mean, yeah, remember, think about this. Both McGee's, Cheryl Miller, Coop. USC was a problem.
Yeah. But you know what else is a problem? How mad are the Iowa Hawkeyes women's team that they – well, first of all, kudos to Creighton for beating them. But they would have had an in-state rivalry in the NCAA tournament against Iowa State that they don't get to play tonight.
Well, handle your business.
Tragic.
Handle your business.
Only if we had 44 free throw attempts.
Is that a thing? Like, do you –
if
both of you coach basketball.
If
do you go into a game like knowing what your team averages for free throws?
Yes.
And thinking that is what you should get every game, and if you don't get it, you're upset.
Style of play, shot selection. If we're aggressive and we're getting shots in the paint and to the glass and to the front of the rim, I'm going to shoot free throws.
Mostly,
I'm going to shoot free
you
throws.
expect, but I mean, there's some. I always say refs usually ref the game like they would expect it. They play. If they're real kind of touchy, they don't like to be touched, then again, you're going to have a high volume of foul calls. And then if you got guys that like to play it, till you're almost bleeding, then they're going to let everything go.
Well, we were a trap team. So officials, we would have that discussion before the game.
Right.
So what's a foul? What's, ball, hand to ball, hand to hand contact, what that was. Chest bumping was allowed, but hip to hip was not.
Yeah.
Go through, right? But to have those discussions before the game, and they knew first of all, the officials knew when they were officiating in my games, they were going to have to run because we was going to get it. We was going to get after it. This was like VCU. We going to run.
Right.
And they appreciated it because they knew coming in how to call the game.
Sure.
And the words were usually an impeding advantage is what they would whistle.
Right.
If it was an unfair advantage in impeding a player, resistance was expected, friction was expected.
Right.
But if you were impeding to gain advantage, then they were going to blow the whistle.
Right.
And so we use that as well offensively, because if you tell me that you can't impede me from gaining advantage, I'm going to run out and get you in space where you have to bump me in front of the official.
Right.
So yeah, I knew we were going to shoot some free throws.
And you know what refs call what, but as a coach, the way that Iowa plays, they're not a team that's a take it to the rack hard, want it to be filled. They want to kind of like flop their way to the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got refs that are prepared for it, and I'm sure Creighton's coach warned them, and probably sometimes you can send in tapes, or like video clips or cut-ups of it. They're going in. If you're known for that, you got to think just because you're known for it doesn't mean you're going to get it. There's people that are going to be watching it. Actually, Arizona, the game last night, they ran it was pretty cool. I call it reverse pin down. So they picked down and then they turned around and picked back up and got a three. Well, the guy that he tried to go around the pick and not trail him. The guy at top was setting the pick. He kind of slid through, but he flopped, and the ref missed how you get called on for offensive flop. So it's interesting to see, in the sense of Iowa that, even in the men's game, people are flopping.
And we're in big moments now. So officials are under greater scrutiny. The conversations about what's being called.
25 from Arizona had a huge bonehead foul in the sense of he was getting back on defense. The guy from Houston didn't even have the ball, was running the court. He tried to pick up a charge against a guy without a ball.
Yeah.
That's his third foul. Yeah. He just had hit a three. He had just caused a turnover, and they were trying to get the momentum. Now he's out of the game in late in the first half with 3 fouls because he picked up a foul that
tried to get a cheapie.
But the guy didn't even have the ball. The ball was on like the other side of the court.
Yeah, impact of the game, impacting the play, and an impact on the game.
Right.
Those are things that also play into it. Unless a lot of officials have to make those decisions. Is this call going to impact the outcome of the game? Then I have to honor the rule and then not be human and get caught up. All right, Jay Foreman, thank you. Have a great weekend, brother. If you decide to come down to Tanner's night, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Go all the way until Saturday morning.
Yeah, you know how it is. The fastest hour of radio, brought to you by Allo. Coming up, Aaron Davis on 1-on-1. Let's do it.